All right. This is my speech, just an introductory speech. So, self awareness is the ability to take an honest look at yourself without any attachment to it being right or wrong, good or bad. That's a quote from Debbie Ford. Hi, my name is Joseph Gachenko, but you can just call me Joey. Today, I will be talking to you about myself. I will let you know what drives me through my days, what makes me the person that I am today, and what makes me not go insane. Let me just clarify, it's not go insane. So, like many people, I generally don't have a specific motivator. When I wake up every morning, I don't typically recite the same quote every morning, letting myself know that today is the day when everything changes. Let me be real. I'm not Dwayne The Rock Johnson, waking up every morning trying to get casted to another movie role, so I'm not special by any means. I would say I am motivated not daily, but in periods of time. For example, in the beginning of the summer, I focused completely on working and nothing else. When it came closer to SEC or the first semester, I then began to transition over to the educational focus. But what I did not notice was that when I began to get ready, I tried to match the same workload that I had at work with school. Very, very similar to a swing of some sorts. Kind of the same momentum. I was trying to keep that on pace. I see as if I need that moment to jump off and catch to the next swinging set. If I don't match it, then I have to build that momentum again, whether that be working more or loading myself with more classes. I see it this way because I don't want to be like my siblings. My brother, who never went to college, decided to take the working routes. He would work every day to make his paycheck bigger and bigger. Then he came to a point where he needed to go to school to really start making even more money. So, kind of full circle, he had to go to college anyway. Especially since he started to grow his own family, how I saw this was him slowly building and growing the amount of work he needed to do. For what though? Just to end up going to school like he said he didn't need to? My sister, who went to school and worked, managed to balance both work and school, but in a very similar style as I see it today, which admittedly is who I took my daily routine from. She was a bigger motivator for me. However, she managed to marry rich. I'm jokingly saying this, and all of her efforts were not really needed in the end. Maybe I will marry rich too. But as a guy, I don't think I don't want that same result for myself because I take so much from my siblings. I think it's fair to discuss about how I grew up. Now, I am the youngest in my family. Like I mentioned, I have an older brother and also an older sister. Because I was the youngest, my siblings ended up taking care of me whenever my parents wanted to do something or when they traveled. I would almost always hang out with my sister, mainly because my brother didn't want to carry me around everywhere, but also because I think she was much nicer. Growing up with both my siblings being a lot older, by roughly around 6-10 years, gave me a great viewpoint of what they did to get to their success and what not to do. My siblings generally always had me around, and of course, I would always know how they were doing, whether that be at work or school. They would always talk with my parents, and I would just kind of listen. And all over and overall, that is what I believe how they were doing, whether that be at work or school. And overall, that is what I believe gave me such a solid understanding of what I need to be doing with my life moving forward. I like to think I took the best of both experiences and fused them together to what I think will make me the most successful. However, the one thing that I can say my whole family have in common is that we all hate doing the same thing for far too long. We all like to take breaks, and here are a couple things I do to keep me sane. So, we all like to work, but we also like to have breaks in between. I'm sure most people love vacations, but have a hard time making time for them. What I like to do is make those vacations a little closer so I don't have to waste time getting there, in terms of distance getting there. So, I recently became a big fan of motocross. In fact, I even bought myself a dirt bike to start riding on. Whenever I would get the chance, I would go out with my coworkers on a track that they have and start learning how to go up on slopes and down big hills. I also enjoy fishing and bow hunting, which is something else that I can do fairly close with the lakes and kind of public land around here. Every now and then I will wake up early just to sit in a tree stand or on a bucket to either fish or hunt some deer. Now, sometimes I really like to treat myself to some more fun. Another hobby of mine is snowboarding, which I don't know if you see my snowboard right here, but I like snowboarding. Almost every year I go out to Colorado and go to Keystone or the Shriney Mountains, that's kind of close by, and go down the same slopes with my buddies. I got one buddy that I always go with. I usually just go with my best friend, which we would then meet up with more of our friends from in Colorado. Finally, I also like to travel. As a kid, I would always travel with my parents, which is definitely why I got that kind of itch to go all the time, somewhere every year. Changing up the pace is something I find really important to my health and also my mental state. Again, my name is Joseph Gachenko, or Joey, and you just learned a little bit about myself, whether it be why I'm going to school and working, or the way I ended up at that mentality. And of course, I also gave you a little sneak peek of what I like to do for fun. Thank you for listening in.